What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Seahawks coming off a big dub against the Cardinals. I think they're taking over or tied for first in the division now. And there's one player that I really want to talk about that's really been popping off the last month or so and is having one of the more under the radar seasons. And he's one of the Seahawks players, one of their receivers, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, year 2 player. Had a little bit of a somewhat underwhelming rookie season, but I think he was misutilized like crazy. They had him running nothing but screens and curl routes, and that's not what he specializes in. He is a great route runner. And one of those things is that we're seeing more now is his route tree has expanded. They are using him in a lot of more impactful spots that he can really dominate a game, where he's a killer in the slot. But if you get him on crossers, you get him on slants, you get him on posts, things like that, where he can be that intermediate kind of player, he explodes. The season, I'll give you a wraparound for what he's done this season. 66 catches, 755 yards, and 4 touchdowns through 11 games, which are really solid numbers. And you're going to see why those are solid. Because really, he's averaging about 6 catches a game for about 68 yards, which, doesn't seem like insane, but that's top 15 wide receiver stuff, because he's top 15 in receiving yards per game, top 10 or 11, give or take, in yards on the season, total cumulative yards on the season, top 6 or 7 in catches on the year. And I think the last 4 games is what we've seen is just this explosion, where I feel like a lot of Seahawks fans kind of been waiting for it. You got little tidbits week 2 where he popped off, and there was even some games last year where he had some explosive numbers. But it looks like now he's just kind of just finding that consistency, which is really hard for young players to do in the league. But over the last 4 games, he's averaging 7 catches for 109 yards per game over the last 4 games. Those are games against the Rams, the Niners, the Bills, the Cardinals, teams that are all fighting for playoff contention or in the playoffs at this moment in time. And I just think the script on him has flipped because they're utilizing him correctly. And we saw it when DK Metcalf had to miss 2 or 3 games. They needed somebody to step up, and boy, did he. He had a game against the Rams with 180 yards. I think the game against the Niners, he had 110 yards. He's putting up numbers now, and statistically is flying under the radar, but is performing as a top 12 to 13 receiver in the league this year. When you talk about the top guys, obviously there's the Jamar Chases, the Justin Jeffersons, the A.J. Browns, and so forth, CeeDee Lambs. But he's one of the ones that's just performing week in and week out lately. And I love to see it, because they tried to use him so poorly last season. And I feel like the people were kind of is he going to be able to play at the NFL level? They tried to use him as a Tyreek Hill, when in reality he's more of a Keenan Allen. And now they've got him doing everything that we all knew he could do. And they got him in situations to succeed, and he's killing it. They tried to make him Tyreek Hill, but in reality he's more like Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp, those guys that can dominate you from the slot. And he's gotten a lot better in yards after the catch too. Last season he was kind of going down after 1 or 2 hits. This season he's top 8 in receivers in yards after catch, which that's pretty damn good, because the guys ahead of him are Jamar Chase. I think one of the surprising ones was Chris Godwin, even though he hasn't played in a few weeks, but that shows you the pace that Godwin was on. But he's in that top 8 conversation for yards after the catch, meaning when he gets open, he's going he's breaking a tackle and he's getting you 5-6 more yards a catch, which that breaks a defense down. It keeps you ahead of the chains, keeps your offense moving, and puts you in more situations to score. So when you get a receiver like him, who you drafted, I think 21st overall last year, your hope is that he can jump in and be a 1B next to DK's 1A, or flip it. Doesn't really matter. You just wanted him to be a top receiver, and this season he's played like it. Last season, 63 catches for 628 yards. And I think 4 touchdowns. This season, he's already got 4 touchdowns. He's already got 755 yards, and he's already got 66 catches. He surpassed all of last year's numbers in 11 games. He's got 5 more games to go, right? Or 6 more games to go, whatever it is. And he's on pace for 100 catches and 1,100 yards and 6 or 7 touchdowns. Those are great numbers. No matter how you look at it, however you want to construe them, those are great numbers. And that's especially important when you're factoring in that he spent probably 75% of the season being either the wide receiver 3 in terms of routes run or wide receiver 2. So to see this last month, I think it stamped him as the locked-in wide receiver 2 now. And even today, he was really the wide receiver 1, and he's been that way the last month. And it's gone under the radar, and it deserves a lot of credit because we're waiting on this to break out. And don't give me one game with 110 yards. Give me 4 or 5 straight games of just dominance, and that's what he's done. I think ultimately he's proved them right for drafting him. He's probably been the best receiver in his class this year. I think he's been amazing, and it's everything Seattle wanted. He's given them now. Like, he's taken over that Tyler Lockett role, but I think it's more of a roided out version of it because he's getting, he's more explosive after the catch. He's probably just as good of a route runner, if not better at this point. And he's got great hands, which we've seen some crazy catches from him this season. And I think JSN has ascended himself into that, top 15, 20, 25, or there's a lot of names you can go down, but he's definitely put himself in that conversation as like a wide receiver 1 or a high-end wide receiver 2 in this league. And I think that's great for what was expected of him. I think he's ushering out his role, and it's going to be really good for a long time. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is don't give up on players after 1 year. Make sure your coaches are putting them in situations to succeed, because he's not Tyreek Hill. That's not his game, but he can damn sure be a maybe better than Keenan Allen, which is a lot because Keenan's had a great career. They just play so similar to me that it just looks so similar. And I watched a lot of Keenan throughout my life at being a Chargers fan, but JSN has definitely upped his game and looks like the first-round pick that he was drafted to be. And I'm super excited about that. I hope he continues this pace because the Seahawks are, like I said, I think they're either leading the division right now or tied for it. I think based on tiebreaker, I think they would have it over the Cardinals. But that division is all teams that are like 1 game apart or tied. And they're going to need him for this playoff push if they're going to make it in, because he's got to make plays. And I think that he's earned the coaching staff's trust. I think he's earned Geno's trust. And I think that they're playing better as an offense as a result of that. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you're feeling about Jaxon Smith-Njigba's second year in the NFL. What do you think about how he's been playing? I think he's been really good. I would say there's probably been 2 or 3 stinkers this season from him. But outside of that, he's been elite, which that's a good thing. That's a great thing. And I think Seahawks fans should be very happy about that because he's only getting better. And I think that's the dangerous part. So I'm excited to watch the rest. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please like the video. Really, really appreciate y'all. But pay attention to JSN because he is ascending before your very eyes. And there's, maybe he ends up being the best receiver on this team. I don't know. We'll find out. But thanks for watching. I'm done. Peace.